I should look at the date. Friday, July 17th. Friday, July 17th. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, the tits. The tits. I don't know. I should probably get a napper. Maybe. I don't know. Because Mom's going to be here in about 3 o'clock. So it's 1 o'clock. And she's going to be here about 4. Hold on. Oh, I don't know if you heard it, but I farted. All the fucks and farts stay in. That's the promise. But yeah, she's going to be here about 4 o'clock. And then I am going to her house to kitty sit this weekend. I'm also going to visit my uncle and aunt while I'm there. And I'm going to try to get together with my friend, Jason, while I'm in town. Because usually, like, I've been back to Mom's house before for things, for this, that, or the other. But it's usually something very specific. Like, I'm going down for one of my uncle's parties, or Mom has, like, she has, like, some little, project she wants me to work on, like trimming her bush, Sometimes you just have to trim your mom's bush. Them's the rules. I don't make them. I don't follow them. I don't even know what they are. It's weird. But yeah, so basically, like, Mom will come down and get me on Saturday, and then we'll do whatever we do, and then she'll bring me home Sunday. So it's like, I don't really spend much time back in my hometown, very much. But since I'm going to be in town, like, all day, I don't know for sure when her and Carol are leaving to go to Boonville. But since I'm gonna be in town all day, just sitting around Mom's house, since I have the free time for a change, since I'm going to be in Hardin and have some free time, I'm like, well, I could, go over and visit with my aunt and uncle, and maybe try to get together with my buddy Jason, yeah, go from there. So, do some laundry. Of course I'm going to take some laundry. It's free. I don't have to pay $4, because, well, I think is it $3.75 or both up to $2 now? I don't know. You used to get a little bit of a discount if you use the app. It's pay range, but they don't do that. It was like 10 cents, but still 10 cents was, something at least. But now it's like, no, the price on the machine is what you pay in the pay range app. So it's pretty stupid. But I think I don't know what I need to pack. I've got my medications, and I need to put in a phone charger, I guess, in my bag, because I'm probably going to wash my sleeping pants, and I'm wearing those right now because Mom's not going to be here for 3 hours, so I'm staying nice and comfortable. Instead of wearing my jeans all day, I'm just wearing my sleeping pants, sleeping shorts. But I want to wash these, so. I don't know if I'll do that tonight or tomorrow while I'm, in between visits with people. I don't know. But yeah, I need to get my laundry together. That's about the last thing I think I need to do, because I have my medications and my keys in my bag ready to go. And I think my phone's on like 70%, 68. Missed it by 1. Dang it. Could have had a giggity. No, well. But, so I think I'm pretty much ready, other than throwing my dirty clothes in, like, a trash bag or something. That's usually what I transport my my laundry down to Mom's. So I have a couple of old, trash bags in there that I've used previously. When I get done with them, I just flip them inside out, so that way, like, the outside is in and the inside is out, and then, I don't know, I guess at least it airs out, so it's not like I'm putting my dirty clothes, or I'm not putting my clean clothes back in the same bag that I just took my dirty clothes out of, I guess, if that makes sense, in some way, shape, or form. Like, you dump the clothes out, flip the bag inside out, so that way, it's clean, right? That's a rule I do know and follow. But I know the one. That's about it. Work has been fairly interesting this week, for one reason or another, at both jobs. I ended up, well, we only worked 3 hours today. I wasn't sure if there was going to be any mowing left to do, because Mallory's been helping with the mowing this week, so kind of like, I don't know if there's anything left for us to do. Plus it rained really hard last night, but we ended up having some stuff to do. But we did have to go mow a trail that I've never done before. So I thought about filming myself going through this trail, but it was pretty tight. At some points, I was trying to follow behind Charles. He led the way, and I just kind of came along behind him. You know, it was some of the tight spaces, and it was like I was trying to not like, you know, get too far off the beaten path, I guess. Sometimes we had to get around something, or, you know, but, so yeah, I was like, maybe I should just focus on following Charles and not filming mowing up in this trail. Because there was one point where there was like these 2 trees that were like right together, and Charles was on the Hustler, which is a little bit shorter, or, you know, not quite as wide as the Skag that I was driving, and there were these 2 trees that kind of had stumps, and I initially hit it trying to go through it, because I was like, I don't think I'm going to fit through here. I mean, I didn't hit it very fast. I wasn't driving very fast. But then I kind of like, somehow I turned and ended up getting through there. But then we had to turn around and come back. And on the return trip, I tried like 2 or 3 times to get in between those trees, and I could not do it. So I just kind of had to, you know, go off the beaten path and go around. So that's why I was kind of paying more attention to what was. And then I had to catch up with Charles, because he was just, you know, going on ahead. But, and I was worried. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. Like, is this trail going to be wide enough? Is it going to be like, am I going to like go off in a ravine or something? And at one point, when we came back around, I saw Charles start going up the hill, and I'm like, oh God. That was a little scary. Going up the hill is a little bit scary, because I kind of like bumped a few times as I'm like going like this, and I bump, you know. That was almost Thriller. Kind of, I was like, I probably won't flip all the way over. Probably. I didn't, so I guess that's. We saw some deer while we were up in there, and they just kind of were watching us from afar. They weren't really. I mean, you know, the mowers were making a lot of noise, but they weren't that concerned about it. They were just whatever, man. You know, just munching on their grass. So that was exciting. Exciting. Something different. Helped kill a little bit of time this week. I think it took about an hour for us to do that. So that was something. And regular work, like I said, it rained last night, and the lights went out. Well, actually, by the time we got there, I don't think we'd been there like 10-15 minutes, maybe. I don't know, maybe 20. And the lights actually came back on. They had just handed out headlamps, because they have us, if it, you know, there's been a few times in my nearly 20 years working there that the lights have gone out. That's maybe 4th, 5th time, maybe, that we've had to work in the dark. So they just kind of get us headlamps, and we just kind of continue to do what we're doing. They already had all the bunkers, the cold bunkers, covered up with styrofoam and whatever. So we didn't have to do that. But then, like I said, the lights pretty much came right back on. So they started taking the styrofoam off, and they were like, I guess they were temping it or whatever, and there was like there was like like a chain reaction. One cooler went down, and then the next one, and then they would just get, you know, everything out of a cooler, and then the next one would go down, and then they'd take all that stuff out. They had it in like these RPC boxes, and then they just palletized it and, you know, put it in the cooler so that it would stay cold. But then like the next cooler would go down, and then the next one. It was just a chain reaction, like all the way down the wall. I was not involved in any of that. I worked the water soda aisle, with a new kid, and then they had me binning because the second shift was not able to bin their stuff because there was no power. They couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi to, get to the system to do their shit. So they had, and that binning took me the rest of the night. So I wasn't involved in any of that. It was very lucky. And there was like space. I had to, well, the furniture was the problem. Because let's see, I had lawn and garden. I had automotive. I had toys. I had sporting goods. I had furniture, large and small. I think that might be it. Because there was the 2 pallets down by the rolling bins, which was automotive and the other one I said. Lawn and garden? Yes. And then there was 2 carts, which was the large and small furniture. And then there was 3 pallets over, domestics. I forgot domestics. That was interesting because I kind of forgot you can go behind the steel now. That's where, because there was a whole bunch of like old pallets, pallets of old freight sitting in front of the bins in the front. And I'm like, man, I'm going to have to move all of these pallets. And I'm like, oh no, wait, I can go around back and hope, as I, as I do. And I was like, oh, as long as there's room back there for me to fit, and usually there is, story of my life, whatever. But yeah, I was able to bin everything around the backside. So hey, good times. But yeah, I forgot because there was the 3 pallets there. That was the domestics, the toys, and the sporting goods. Because then it was like I took the toys and the sporting goods down by the rolling bins because that's where their bins are, where you're supposed to put the overstock. Because I had this pallet jack, and I kept thinking somebody was going to come get it, or somebody was going to need to use it. So I'm like, well, if I go ahead and pull these pallets down here, then I won't need the jack anymore if somebody needs it. And then I did that, and then I'm like, that's when I found the domestics, and I'm like, I'm going to have to move all these fucking pallets. So I went back and got the jack again, but then I, ended up not needing it, and so it all worked out fine. And then Amy had me work after I was done with that, there was a small pallet of electronics freight. Just to get that out of the way, I was able to get the binning done and get all that done. So I was just, because everybody was over on the grocery side dealing with that shit, and I was over on the GM side all by myself, just having my own little space, my quiet time in the back room, binning stuff. It was good. It was good. It was nice. A nice little solitude. Nice little solitude-y moment, So that was exciting. That was exciting stuff. And I think that's basically it. Oh man, maybe I need to take a little nappy nap. I watched the last episode of All Stars 11, so I know, who won. Not that, spoilers. You could kind of tell it was going a specific way. Come here. I need it. Okay, good. It didn't pull out my bookie marky. But yeah, I'm going to Mom's this weekend. That's the biggest news I got at the moment, I guess. And that was my work update, my interesting work update. So now I'll answer a question for the week. And let's flip this over to the next page. Something about a cabin. I don't know. I saw the word cabin. Got to get my bookmark on the next page, so I'm ready for that. Would you like to live alone? Yes. We were just discussing solitude. No, okay. Would you like to live alone in it? Basically, I live alone as it is. I got that. And half the time I want to kick it out, too. Just saying. Because everybody's like, oh, you could save money if you got a roommate. Yeah, but fuck people. Just fuck people. I don't need people up in my space all the fucking time. I do not. Thank you. No thank you. Shall I finish the question? Would you like to live alone in a cabin in the forest? Why or why not? Would you like to live alone in a cabin in the forest? Why or why not? I thought I was going to get options. Like, you know, what's the game? Like all of them are terrible choices. I don't know. Sophie's Choice, was that? I don't think so. Would you rather? Would you rather, like, have your eye poked out or your spleen ripped through? Something like that. Both choices are terrible. I would, but I also would not like to live in a cabin in the woods by myself. Because, I mean, there's woods, it's nature, it's nice. You know, I like one morning, it was very early morning, the sun was barely coming up. I looked out back here because, you know, there's that line of trees or whatever, and there was actually deer standing out right back, you know, right back behind my back door, basically. So that was kind of nice. You know, and when I lived over at the house, you know, I actually stepped outside just in time on my back porch to see a fox, like, run. I think it ran up underneath the back porch because it was, like, raining, so it was trying to get out of the rain. One time I looked out back, and well, I had bird feeders, so there was birds that were around, but also, you know, the squirrels would get to them, and the raccoons. The raccoons, especially once they got knocked down, and it was just on the back porch, the raccoons would come and, you know, eat it all. But one time I was able to look out back, and I looked out back just in time to see, like, 3 baby raccoons, like, scooch their way down the pole, you know. And I think the mama came after, or she came first, and then the babies came second or something. So yeah, I got to watch little baby raccoons, like, you know, skitter down my back porch. So that was kind of neat. So I mean, I like nature. I like being out in nature. I like being out where there, once again, fuck people. You know, I like being out by myself, in the quiet, in the solitude. That would be nice. What would not be nice is not having the options that I have now, like DoorDash. I mean, I guess depending on how far out you were, DoorDash might still come to you. I don't know. It might be, like, limited options. You might not have everything. Like now, when I want to go see a movie, because Spider-Man is coming up, they're still not showing it in 3D though. They still don't. Oh, that was my. I just ripped one Kleenex. Because the next movie is Spider-Man coming out, but of course I'm waiting for it in 3D. It's the 3D but as it is, you know, if I want to see a movie, I just go walk to the theater and see the movie. Nope, still no showings in 3D. Supergirl, they didn't put 3D showings until, like, the week the movie was coming out. So that's kind of what I'm expecting with Spider-Man, to have 3D showings at the last minute. But the last minute is almost here. Spider-Man is coming up on the 31st of this month. But yeah, like, if I want to go see a movie, I just walk to the theater and go, since I don't drive. That's part of, you know, I mean, once I get home, I'm so lazy, like, unless it's my hour in between regular work in Parks and Rec, then it's like I take my little cat nap and then I get up and I go again, and then once I come home, I take off my pants and I give up for the day because I'm lazy. So even if I did drive, I feel like if I lived in a cabin out in the woods, it would be an imposition to have to drive to town to, like, get some McDonald's or go see a movie or something. I'd be like, I don't really want to do that, you know? And there again, depending on how far out in the country you are, like, can you get reliable internet? I mean, maybe. It is the future. We're living in the future. You might have to get really expensive internet for internet to work. But I do kind of like being here, you know, because it's like I can basically go anywhere and do anything that I want. I mean, I have to walk there to do it, or I have to, you know, tippity-tap on the DoorDash and then they bring me food. I actually did that. I had Applebee's. I ordered Applebee's yesterday because I was going to do Old Barney's, but they didn't start serving until they didn't start door dashing until a quarter till 1 o'clock. And I understand it's a very small place. It's like a local pub bar, place. They got some pretty good food, but they are right there on the courthouse square. So they're right in the middle of town. They are very busy for lunch. They don't need to DoorDash during lunchtime. So and they have a very small kitchen. So they're already overwhelmed with orders, like in-house orders. Like they don't need to add DoorDash. So I understand them not taking orders until 12:45. But then it's like, I don't really want to wait until 12:45. And then by the time I figured out what I wanted from Applebee's, it ended up being like 12:35. So it's like, if I had just waited like another 10 minutes, but now I'm 10 minutes ahead of the game. You know what I mean? Like I'm ordering shit and they're preparing it. Like it's getting ready. Instead of waiting another 10 minutes and then making my order and then, then having to wait. Like they're already making my order. They're already on it. Ready to go. 10 minutes ahead of the game, as I said. So yeah, I do like having my options available to like DoorDash whatever I want. Well, I guess whatever's on DoorDash. Not every restaurant's on DoorDash. Or like I said, if I want to go see a movie, I go see a movie. So, very rarely, I can't remember the last time. It probably would have been with Mike and Christine. Every once in a while, they message me and they're like, "Hey, do you want to go for a Pokemon walk?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I haven't been to campus, and I don't know how long, college campus here in town. I used to go all the time, back when I was actually putting forth effort with Pokemon Go. Of course, I didn't work 2 jobs back then either. So that could have something to do with it. I used to have my part-time seasonal Parks and Rec. So that kind of keeps me, but I've gotten lazy. It's like during the winter when it's the off season and I don't work Parks and Rec, like I come home and it's like the pants are off. I'm done for the day. That's it. No more. They're having a Gymboree class upstairs. Something. I don't know if you can hear it, but I hear it a lot, all the time. There's also my air. My air is also running, but usually, speaking of running, they're usually back and forth a couple times. That would also be a reason that I would like to live out in the woods by myself, just away from people. That is. I could just piss off my back porch. You know what I mean? Like nobody would be there to witness me whipping it out, other than the raccoons and the bears and the whatever. The leather daddies. Yeah, something else, different kind of bear. Sorry. Also, probably watching me pee. I might pee on them. They might pee on me. That was a road to go down. Bahunahua. Yeah, I would like to be away from society, but also there's things about society that I like, that I would want to partake in if I so choose. So, because that's kind of how it is with Hardin. I mean, that's it was a 600-person town when I lived there, and now it's a 500-person town. Like, there's nothing there. Richmond is the next town over. They have a Walmart. They have a McDonald's. They have Sonic. They just recently got was Burger King the last thing? No, they got a Scooter's Coffee. But I think as far as fast food, the last place they got was the Burger King. That might have been a couple years ago. They have something Warrensburg doesn't have, though. They have a Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's like a half Kentucky Fried Chicken, half Taco Bell, but still, they have it. We did have one, but they would always run out of chicken. And I'm like, Kentucky Fried nothing? Like, should you just change the sign to we suck? Like Kentucky Fried Air? Kentucky Fried Imagination. I guess they could say it's like, you know, like an AI experience. That was before AI was a big thing or whatever. It's just what are the, virtual reality chicken. Like, you just imagine you're eating it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not. I mean, I say I'm not really a city person, but I haven't lived there. I visited. You know, I did. We you know, we did Chicago many years ago. Sean, Jen, and myself, and then, you know, I did just just back in March. I did my, you know, my weekend, or, well, I say weekend. It was an overnight at the West 10 up in Kansas City. I finally got to stay at the hotel with the waterfall. It only took me like 20 years, but I finally did it. Yay! Because I had money I could spend for a change. It was kind of nice, you know, instead of having to put it on bills or some other dumb bullshit. That Gymboree class is getting serious. Very serious. We don't talk about Gymboree Club. Zip it. We can hear it. We know what's going on. We know what's happening. But we don't talk about it. But yeah, so, I mean, I say I'm not a city person, but I've never lived there to know for sure. Because I'll tell you what, speaking of DoorDash, if, like, when in Kansas City that weekend, you know, or when Sean and I went to St. Louis, and you could DoorDash until like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That would be amazing. I don't know how many dashers are out at that time of night, you know, getting shot, whatever. Probably not too many, I don't know, depending on, you know, where it is, you know, in which neighborhood or whatever. But it's like they actually have DoorDash open until like 3 o'clock for some restaurants. I'm like, are you shitting me? That would be amazing. Speaking of things I'd want to partake of, Jesus Christ. Because, you know, Sean and I, after we got back from our walking ghost tour in St. Louis, we were looking for a drink. We needed a drink. So I was looking for a place to get a drink and an ice cream. I'm getting an ice cream, a little dessert. And of course I think I got a shake at, like, of course, in Kansas City when I stayed at the Westin, because I got back late from the walking ghost tour then too, and then I walked around a little bit and got yelled at by a crazy lady at Union Station. If you missed that bit of lore, I was walking around Union Station late at night, and I think maybe even I even like smiled at the lady or something, and her response was, you know, something like, "Don't put me on that camera, or I'll see you in court." And I'm like, it took me a minute to realize she was talking to me, but then I realized she said something about a camera. I had to, like, piece it back together in my mind. I was like, oh, she was talking to me, and she was fucking crazy. I don't know. That's like that's the worst thing that happens, you know, in Kansas City at like 11 o'clock at night. You know, Union Station is a totally different place at 11 o'clock at night. It's really, there was still something going on, some kind of something, I don't know, in the main area. I think maybe they were cleaning up after some kind of event, but a lot less busy. Kind of nice though, because there again, fuck people. Remember? But so yeah, it was kind of late by the time I got back to my room, and then I was like exploring the Westin, trying to figure out how to get to the pool, trying to figure out how to get to the workout room. Not that I was going to work out. That's fine. I'm not talking about that. But you know, I wanted to get to the workout room so that I could, because the workout room is at the top of the waterfall, and I wanted to look out over the waterfall. So we're talking about going back sometime, Sean Merrily and myself. So maybe I'll have to spend some time trying to figuring out how to get to the workout room so that I can look out over the waterfall. Woo! But yeah, I was pretty late when I got back to, and then like it took them forever to make my shit. So I think I was getting my drink and my shake at like 1 o'clock in the morning then. Like crazy. But hey, they were still available, so I ended up giving that guy an extra tip because he had to like fight to get my food for me. He's like, because I met him downstairs, and he was telling me, he's like, I was telling him, he's like, man, I'm just waiting on 2 drinks. That's all I need, like, because they were like milling around in the back, I guess, not doing much of anything. He's like, I need 2 drinks. Like, that's what I'm waiting on, So, he got an extra tip. He fought for me, not physically, I assume. It'd be okay if he did. That's fine. I would have liked to witness it, like take a video, post it on WorldStar. Maybe I should look it up and see if my DoorDasher's on WorldStar getting my drinks. So yes, there is a part of me that would be like, fuck people, and would love to live in a cabin in the woods and just... It's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there, kind of thing. I think that's kind of how I feel about the city, too. That's what Warrensburg's a nice middle ground, where there's stuff here. Unlike back, in there's some stuff in Richmond, but, back in Hardin, there's stuff here. There's options, but there's not too much. It's not, like, overwhelming. But there again, like I said, never actually lived in the city. But as fuck people as I am, there's a lot of people in the city to fuck. No, yes, but to fuck off. Yes, people to fuck off. There's people everywhere. I don't know. It's just too much, I think. So nice place to visit. Like having a cabin in the woods would be a nice place to visit, but I'm gonna need my good internet connection. I'm gonna need my DoorDash. I'm gonna need the availability to, like, walk to a theater should I want to go see a movie. Like, I'm gonna need some options. So I don't think I could live there like full time, but definitely every once in a while, just go and enjoy not being around Jamboree and people in general. But that said, how much time did I waste? About half an hour. So there you go. 26 minutes, maybe. I don't know. I'm not watching my stories because we're going to watch them tonight. Mom didn't watch Thursday's episode of General Hospital, so we're going to watch Thursday and Friday tonight. So I don't have to do that. I guess I do need to watch Untucked, I guess. I don't have to. I could take a nap. I don't know. I'll do something after I get this video posted, put together, whatever it is I need to do. I don't know. But other than that, I'm going to go do what I have to do. And I'll see you for when I see you. Have a good weekend.